This summer we have been continuing to build our off-grid cabin. And while we're building our cabin, we also have been working on our homestead and doing some different homesteading projects that I thought I would share with you an update on both of those today. So one of the things we've been doing at the cabin is outside the cabin, and it was we got pigs. So at the beginning of the summer, we got 2 pigs and we brought them down into the woods just in front of the cabin. We first had them up at our barn, like where our horses and cow are, but we decided to bring them down here because we wanted them to kind of till up the ground where we will eventually have our garden at the cabin. So right now they're just outside of the cabin, which is kind of close, and eventually when we're in the cabin, I don't want pigs 5 feet from the front door. But for now, since we're just still working on it, it's very convenient to be able to just come down, fill up their water tank, and fill up their food nice and close to the edge of our trail. And they've been very happy down here. They don't smell too bad, I find, when we were in the cabin. There's lots of breeze going by, and because they're in the trees, there's some nice shade for them. We have their little shelter that we built so they can get in there. Once the pigs were settled, we moved into the cabin, and Eric's been working a lot on doing the finishing touches on the inside. So there's some big projects still to come, but the things like finishing the trim around the stairs, just tidying those little edges up. In my last update, I shared that we had finished the flooring, so that's been done now, and now we're moving on to things like the staircase, and it turned out so beautiful. I love how it looks. It's nice and rustic, but also clean and finished. Something else we've done is Eric has been working on the kitchen, which is so exciting to have the kitchen underway, and part of the kitchen is the fridge. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know we had a really cute vintage fridge and realized it was going to take too much power on our small solar system. And so even though it's really pretty, it wasn't very practical for us. So Eric and my father are moving this fridge up to the barn, and we're going to use it as like a milk fridge in our barn for now because that's up on the grid on my parents' property. We're building deeper in on the property where there's no power. And so that fridge was heavy, but it is nice, and we didn't want just to get rid of it, so we will put it to use. It is so exciting to have the cabinets in and have them looking an idea of what the kitchen will look like. So as they took the fridge away and up the road, we were able to then bring in the new one and put it in place. We haven't exactly put it in its little spot, but we'd have it ready for once the cabinets are all done. We wanted to buy it so we were able to measure the hole and put in the box for the fridge, and Eric's going to add a cabinet over top of that. Our kitchen is not very big, but I love how it's looking. There's a little pantry off the back, and then we have a U-shaped cabinets with the fridge will be on the left, the sink under the window, and then the stove under the other window. The fridge made its way up to the barn, and that's where it's going to live for now, and we'll use it for milk and things from the cows. If you are homesteading and building a house, or homesteading and doing a job, you might be able to relate to the fact that getting it all done can be challenging, but we were able to get our garden in. We got it in early this spring, and now it has definitely grown up some, but it's good to get some vegetables growing. We want to do some gardening this year because we love having a garden, but because of the cabin build, we didn't prioritize it to be massive because I'll be able to buy local vegetables to keep through the winter. In the future, we're excited to have a bigger garden, but for now, we're just going to have a little one so we can focus on building the cabin. Come here, little bossy. One fun homesteading project we have done this summer, we actually started a little while ago in the spring, is milking our cow. And so to milk them, Eric goes and gets them out of the field or their paddock, and they will follow him into the barn. We just bring the mama cow into the barn, and the baby cow, she'll stay outside and have her grain. while we're milking Bossy Cow. I thought I would share with you guys a little bit about our process of our milking now that we have it all established. So Eric has built a stanchion and we love it. It's great. It makes it so much easier. She'll stand still. We get her in, get her head locked, give her some alfalfa to help her milk production, and we also give her some dairy ration from the feed store. Then Eric will sit down and he cleans her teats with it's like a solution we get from the local dairy store. Like there's a store that sells to a lot of big dairies, but they'll sell to us too. And so we just use that. It's gentle on her teats, but also has like iodine and stuff that cleans. Then Eric always strips out her teats to make sure there's no mastitis and checks the ground when he does that to make sure everything looks nice and good before he brings his pail under to start milking. So currently we milk by hand. We did get a bucket milker from a friend of ours. We bought an old Surge bucket milker, but we need to get the pump set up. So a different friend that had a pump from back in like the 50s when they milked cows, their father, we took it out of their barn, and we have like these two old pieces, but we first need to be able to get it all hooked up so that it will work. And for now it's Eric milking by hand, and he's pretty good at it. He can do it nice and fast. I am not as good at it, so he often does it. And he loves his time with his cow. And Bossy, she's a great cow. She just stands there, eats her grain, and then once her grain's all gone, she just stands there and sometimes will start to chew her cud. Sometimes she gets a little wild with her tail, though, because she wants to get those flies off her. She's such a good cow. We can even have kids come in and try it. So we've had friends with kids and stuff come over and want to try. And she's so good. She never kicks, and she just lets them try to get some milk out, which can take a while if they're learning. But Eric, he has his system down, and him and Bossy sit there. It takes them almost half an hour to milk her out. We are getting usually 1.25 gallons, I would say, every day of milk. It depends on if she's on grass, we get a bit more, or if not, if she's on the dry lot, then we give it less. We don't have enough pasture to pasture our animals all the time, which is something we would love to have in the future, but for now, we kind of rotate them onto the grass, so put them on the grass for a few days, then give it a break and put them onto their smaller area, and then once it grows back up, put them back on it again. One of my favorite things about having milk is that I get to make different milk products. So we've tried making yogurt. Eric loves that. And I've really gotten into a lot of cheese making. And I've made Gouda and mozzarella and Havarti and different cheeses. Gouda is my favorite. After Eric finishes the milking, he then will dip the teats in like an iodine solution, I think it is. It's a post-dip we also get from that same supplier. Once Eric has finished with Bossy, he brings the milk upstairs for me to our little room, and then I usually will filter the milk while he puts Bossy outside. And so for our filter setup, we just have a metal funnel, and I used a coffee filter, like a reusable one, at the beginning, and I found it let some stuff through. And so I then tried using like a cloth or cheesecloth, and I never found it worked quite good enough. There'd be little specks of dirt, which who wants dirty milk? Nobody. And so I tried doing like a normal coffee filter, and I settled on buying the milk filters, like the big dairies use, and it works so much better. You can see that sometimes there's like a fly that gets in there in the summertime. It's kind of gross, but once you filter it, the milk is clean and good and delicious, and it's also healthy. I love it so much. Today we got about 1.25 gallons, I would say. As soon as I get that milk filtered, we put it in the fridge, and in our fridge we also have my cheeses here, which I am letting age in the fridge because I don't have a cheese cave. Sometimes I don't get to using all the milk. When you get over 1 gallon of milk a day, and you're in Canada where it's illegal to sell milk, so you have to use it yourself, I find sometimes I just don't get time to make something with it, and so it will go sour, and then after it goes sour, I could make like cottage cheese with it, but usually it goes to the pigs, and the pigs absolutely love it. They don't get it every day because obviously we are using our milk, but about once a week I'll kind of go through and see any old milk that didn't get used up, and we'll give it to the piggies, and they love it. They will just like suck it back like crazy, and I think they would just never stop drinking milk if we let them. So they're happy pigs.
Don't rim rack that now.
We don't usually give them this much at one time.
Oh, the little piggies.
The cabin has been continuing getting work done on it throughout the summer, and we're so thankful for the people that have helped us out. My mother was one of those people. She has been working on painting the kitchen. So we decided that we want to paint the walls of the kitchen white. And the reason is because it's quite dark in there. It's so much light in the front of the cabin where the big windows are, but the kitchen's over in a little nook with 2 small windows, and I just find it's quite dark, and I didn't want it to feel super dark in there, and so we thought painting the walls white would help to brighten it. So this is just the primer. I still have to put the actual white color on, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. I love how much light it brings in. It looks so much brighter than it did before we put the primer on. And I love how it makes the wood pop, so it's not just one big massive sheet of wood, but it really breaks it up and it makes it look even prettier, the parts that we're leaving natural wood. We're going to leave the pantry door and the trim wood and the beams. And then the cabinets, we've decided we want to paint a color, just to bring some color in. We haven't done it yet, so we're not 100% sure. We picked 2 different colors, one that was kind of a greenish color, one that was a bluish color. We prefer the dark colors, like the dark green of our bedroom or the dark green of the cabin front door. But we were afraid if we put a dark color that it would make the kitchen look dark again, like we just got rid of by putting the white on. And so we picked these colors. And we thought they looked nice. We put them on a piece of wood to try to test them out to see how they would look and to see if they would fit with the color scheme of the cabin. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of either of these colors. Eric and I, we both are not so sure.
Where are you?
The front. Let's do it. I have no idea. Okay. So you want more green cabin. I feel like we needed another color option.
Okay.
That is really blue, but I don't.
You would like this color.
I don't know. I'm torn. They felt very coastal, like a beach house, and this is not a coastal beach house. We're in the woods. It's a woods cabin. And so we just felt like it didn't really go with the look of the cabin. But let me know in the comments, do you like either of these for our cabin kitchen, or what color should I paint them? One of my favorite aspects of the kitchen is our little pantry. It is super tiny, but also maximized to the best as we could. I'm so excited to fill it up with mason jars. We also purchased a little hutch. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and it happened to be the perfect size for the cabin. I love how it looks, and it just is going to add a lot more storage for us, which is really exciting. The upstairs of the cabin is pretty well done now. In a previous video, you've seen the bedroom and how it's completed, but Eric has also finished our closet. So I'm gonna soon be moving our clothes into the cabin because we're gonna be doing a soft move-in where we're gonna start moving stuff in because we need to be moving out of where we've been living. It's time to get into this cabin, and so it's very exciting. Eric finished the closet. The water tank is in the closet, which is kind of in the way, but that's okay. We built the stuff around it. And so one side has a few places to hang and has a built-in shelf for clothes folded. And one side has the rod for hanging clothes, but it also has the pump, which will pump the water from our tank outside up into this tank in here. I'm so excited that this cabin build is coming close to an end. Things are looking like a cabin and it's looking like it's getting to be done. I love looking out this front window. It's so beautiful, and right now we can see the little piggies outside laying in their wallow. And so eventually, once we're in here in the future, we'll move the pigs farther away. But for now, it's kind of convenient. We can keep our eye on them, and they love the mud. Disgusting muddy pigs. But they've grown a lot since we first got them, and we love having our own pork, and so it's nice to have down at the cabin. So that's a little update on what we've been doing at our off-grid cabin build. I'll be sure to be sharing more with you as we go, and a little update on our homesteading journey. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.